Everybody, we're doing another episode of Cooking with Charlie. We've already started by making a cowboy ribeye steak. What we're doing is we're going to do reverse sear it. That way the flavor and the steak on the inside will get done. That's about a 2-pound ribeye steak right there with a bone in it. All I did was add some olive oil, salt, pepper, and garlic onto it. You don't need a whole lot of seasoning onto this steak because it's already got a great marbling factor in this. It's going to be a great flavor no matter what. Just to end up, you don't want to like overpower seasoning, so just salt, pepper, garlic is good for that. We're going to cook this at 250 on our Traeger grill for about 45 minutes or so. I'm going to cook it up to get it up to 115 on the inside temp. And then I'm going to end up cooking it on the Weber grill to get a good sear, to get it to about 125. That'll give me a good medium rare steak. With this kind of meat, this kind of cut, you're really going to want to take your time with it. You're not going to want to sear it from start to finish, just because it's a really thick cut of meat. So that's why we're reverse searing today. So we'll get back to you when we get it on the Weber grill. Folks, we're back on this beautiful late afternoon. We've got our Weber grill already started. I've got some Kingsford briquette, applewood infused briquettes. When it comes to charcoal, the biggest thing that I like to do is make sure that, for one, the charcoal doesn't smell like lighter fluid. If it smells like lighter fluid, chances are your taste of your food is going to be like lighter fluid. So the biggest thing that I like to do is use all natural lump charcoal, or just a briquette that's all natural. And the way that Kingsford infuses with the infused wood ones that they have now are awesome. Like, you don't get that lighter fluid taste like the normal stuff, and it's good for cooking. On the Weber, I've already got some grilled potatoes they're diced up with some diced onions, salt, pepper, garlic, and some little bit of Cajun seasoning to get a little bit of spiciness to it, a little zip, and some onions, chopped up onions, and the potatoes are cubed. I've got about 2 tablespoons of butter in there and some olive oil to help make it not stick. And I put those on for about 45 minutes to an hour. And there's one of my most favorite potato side dishes, especially for a steak. So also what I have are some skewered mushrooms, because you need mushrooms with your steak. And I'm going to throw those on the grill. I'm getting that kind of off to the side. I don't want to get them too hot. I got my potatoes still off kind of the side, and I got the center ready for my sear. So I'm going to come over to my Traeger grill. This is at 115 degrees that I'm pulling this off. I'm going to get the probe out of there, and I'm going to get this steak up. We're going to get it right over onto that hot charcoal there, and we're going to cover it up. We're going to grill on both sides for about 4 to 5 minutes per side, and then we're going to get it to about 125 degrees for a medium rare. It's been about 2 minutes now, so now we're going to just cross the steak a little bit so that way it can get those nice grill marks on there. I'm going to rotate these mushrooms a little bit. And on the mushrooms, I just spray them with a little bit of olive oil. Sprayed olive oil, and then a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic on there, and just let them sit. I'll let that steak sit for another 2 more minutes, and we'll flip it. All right, now it's been 2 more minutes. We're going to let it flip here. Ooh. Oh, look at that. It's got some nice charcoal grounds on there. It's got a nice sear on the outside. Temp looks good, nice and bouncy back. All right, those potatoes are getting good, and we'll let it sit for about 2 more minutes. All right, it's been 2 more minutes, so we're just going to rotate the steak 1 more time. Trying to get some good marks on there. Now in this final 2 minutes, you also will want to remember that you got to let this steak sit. You got to let it sit for a good 5 to 8 minutes. Let all that juice suck back up into it. If you start cutting into that steak right now, all the flavor runs right out. That's one of the most key important things that you're going to have to do for this whole steak. You spent enough money on this thing. These cuts are not cheap. You're going to want to let it sit. Take the time. You've already took an hour and 10 minutes to cook it. What's another 5 more minutes? You can just stare at it, look at it, and drool over it. All right, we're at the final stage here. We're going to take this steak off. We're gonna throw it onto a cutting board here. We're gonna let it sit for 5 minutes. I'm just gonna slide those potatoes back over to the top of this charcoal here just to get it nice and a little bit more browned up. These mushrooms are looking good. I'm just putting those off to the side to keep them nice and warm because they'll cool off real quick. You don't want to pull them off with your steak right now because they will definitely cool off by the time that steak is ready. All right, folks, we're back inside. We got this beautiful ribeye steak. We're just going to cut into it just a little bit. And look at that. Got a nice little cut out of it. Now that's good. And then we got over here, we've got our potatoes. Just check that out. Nice steam.